We're here today at Reason Magazine headquarters, where we just finished watching a debate between the three major candidates running for the Libertarian Party's presidential nomination. In past elections, Libertarian candidates have often flown below the political radar. This year, however, even if you're not a Libertarian, you may recognize the candidates who are here today. At one time, they were likely a member of your own party. Former Democratic presidential candidate Mike Gravel of Alaska, former Republican Representative Bob Barr of Georgia, and online gambling entrepreneur and self-professed former neoconservative Wayne Allen Root of Nevada. The major party debates you see on TV, this was not. Influential libertarians crammed into Reason's small office to hear surprisingly candid answers to staff and audience questions.
You've given to Joe Lieberman, who is, if I had to rank the top, the 100 least libertarian, politicians in the world, I think he would fill all 100 slots. So,
I'm a businessman above all else, and about 2 years ago, a very good friend of mine made $1 million investment in my business, and he was bundling checks for Joe Lieberman and said, "By the way, would you make an investment in Joe Lieberman's campaign?" And I wrote a $1,000 check.
Lacking the familiarity of other liberty-loving heroes like Republican Congressman and presidential candidate Ron Paul, the candidates spent much of the debate establishing their libertarian bona fides.
The voters of this country realize and are ready for a third party to lead them out of the wilderness.
Government's job is to protect us from murderers, criminals, rapists, robbers, and foreign invaders, but it's never to protect us from ourselves.
And there's only one other party that really can solve this problem and lead this country back to where it should be, and that's a party that stands for liberty and freedom.
For their part, audience members did not seem to consider their new converts carpetbaggers.
I mean, to be a Libertarian Party candidate is not opportunistic. I think it's got to be a commitment.
My suspicion is at least one of them, and maybe even two, are not really libertarians and maybe don't even really understand what's involved and don't understand all the things libertarians think, and I think that's fine.
I'm not concerned with any of them being recent converts. I think they're all very attractive, and I think they all have, except for Root, have good name recognition.
In fact, after the debate, Gravel told an audience member he's never been confused about his libertarian lifestyle.
It's like a gay coming out of the closet. Free at last! Free at last!
While libertarians universally agree that government should be smaller and less intrusive, the debate revealed some major disagreements on issues like immigration and national security. And some of moderator Dave Weigel's questions began with basic tenets of libertarianism in mind.
So, what do you want to change about the Constitution, and how is that libertarian? Has any foreign intervention by the United States since the Gulf War been worth it? And what is the first federal agency that you would get rid of?
From the Federal Department of Education.
Obviously, the IRS.
Department of Education, gone.
There was one issue all could agree on. The legalization of child porn is not a good platform to run on.
Child porn, unacceptable by any American standards. You can never get elected to office in this country if you answer that question any other way.